Hello everyone, this is Miss Kimberly. Today I wanted to do a video on word problems. A lot of times the kids have some issues with that, so I wanted to see if I can break that down pretty quickly. So the first thing we have to cover is there's a lot that goes into word problems. You have reading comprehension, which means it's very important that you are familiar with vocabulary. Critical thinking, because they're not going to tell you the answer. You have to think about what the answer is. You have to understand charts and tables. They often kind of coincide with that. So I drew one here. And then they have a question. We'll go over that. The math application, what you're going to use, how you need to set that up, checking your work, and how to answer them. So I have a book here that I purchased a while ago. Can you see that? For a 6th grader. And so I figured, you know what? Let me kind of start in the beginning of that. So I am on page 4 and 5, and I'm just going to break that out. So if you have the book, you can follow along. If not, I pretty much wrote everything on here. So first of all, here's the question. How much longer is the Missouri River than the Arkansas River? It doesn't have the green part. But I thought it was important to introduce abbreviations of the states just in case they see it later on or have a test on states and capitals or abbreviations. Anywho, so breaking down the vocabulary, how they need to understand is one of those questions. How, what, when, where, why. They need to know that. And when you see those questions at those words at the beginning, chances are there's a question mark at the end. So how much longer tells you that, okay, there's a difference. I need to do some kind of compare and contrast, some kind of separation. Than is a good indicator that you're doing one and the other. So there's 2 factors. In this case, we want to look at patterns. What do they want you to see? So here they have river in here twice. So chances are they want you to compare rivers. Which rivers? The Missouri River and the Arkansas River. So when you figure that out, once you've read the question and dissected that, then you figure out the application. Here we're using subtraction. So you have to be careful when you write it down, how to write it down. Make sure that it's always neat. You have your columns in line. You have your place value in order. Make sure all the information is correct. With subtraction, you make sure that the larger number is on top. Hey children, hashtag is a number sign. Anywho, I digress. So you go over here and you look at the chart. The top column, the top row usually tells you what they want you to know. It's the general category. So river. So Missouri River, Mississippi River, Arkansas River. The length in miles. So the Missouri River is 2,540 miles. That's how long it is. And so usually this chart actually has more. Let me show you their chart. Hope you can see that. Where is it? Okay. So they have a lot of information, and that's usually either to make sure that you can select it without handing you the answer, or they may have other word problems that are correlated to that that table or that chart. So they may ask you 2 other rivers or something else. So that's why. So you need to figure out which one it is. So they asked for the Missouri River. So you look at Missouri, they ask you for Arkansas, so you focus on that. Right now, for the purposes of this problem, the Mississippi River doesn't matter. So you put the larger number on top, as we discussed. And then you put the Missouri there. Then you have the Arkansas there. And you can ready to do the subtraction. So here's where a lot of my kids get confused when they need to borrow. So what I usually tell them is, okay, well, give me 4 fingers. And they'll give me 4. And I said, well, take away 6. And they'll say, I can't. I'm like, you can't. That's how you know you need to borrow. So as mentioned before, you cross out that 4 and you add 10 to that number in that place value. That turns into 14. You cross out the next column. And that's a 5, so it turns into 4, and then you do the application. Anytime you do a math problem, it's always best to check your work. So here I have my check. I did 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go backwards, 1, 2, 3, and I did that down here. So I wrote the answer that we came up with first. Oh, I don't have a plus sign. Let me put a plus sign right there. And then I took the next number, and that comes up with the third number. So, I'll put my cap back on, excuse me. So, I check my work to make sure that this number in my check is the same number as I started with. So, that's that. And when you answer the problem is not simply 1,080. That's not a word problem. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it says the Missouri River is 1,080 miles longer than the Arkansas River. So I basically rephrased the original question with the information that they have, and used some of the same words: than, river, Missouri, right, Arkansas, and I implanted the answer in that. Notice it starts with a capital letter. It has all the information it needs, and it has a period. So that's just a small snippet of how to get through a word problem. So I hope that was helpful. Learning on the go. Make sure that you can reach out to me on social media. And I hope you found that helpful. Bye.